Hello, we're back playing Roadwarden again. This should be, I think, the 5th episode. It's been like a week since the last time I recorded, so hopefully I remember stuff. I did look just now, I briefly looked back over like recording number 3 and recording number 4 just to kind of refresh my memory. Also, I did really quick, I'm not like a super good artist, I did really quick sketches, like 5-minute, 4-minute, 2-minute pencil sketches of Thistle, just for reference, so this is what he looks like. Him with the hood on, I guess, because it seems like the person, seems like the Roadwarden kind of wears a hood, or like a cloak sort of thing, from like a little bit of like art that I've seen or whatever. I know that nobody has ever referenced elves existing in this world, but like I cannot have a character with boring round human ears. I always draw everybody with elf ears or something to insinuate they're not just plain humans. I don't know why. I don't even think elves exist in this world. Maybe he just has a birth defect. He's a normal human, but with fucked up ears. But, like, every character I have has, like, they cannot just look like he looks like a very plain human, except for the ears. Usually I give my characters weird colored hair, too. He just has plain black hair. To fit in with the universe, it doesn't seem like a very fantastical universe. He's not gonna have, like, blue hair and horns and stuff like you would usually do with characters. So he's very plain, very toned down, but still. Also, I don't know what type of clothes they wear. He has his hair in a braid all the time for a tactical utility, I guess. And you see the general bags under the eyes, disgruntled expression, kind of neutral looking. And then this is, I don't know how to draw a horse, I'm sorry. This is his horse. Scrambled egg, biting his braid for some reason. I don't know. And him being kind of startled by it. And the horse has pierced ears and also a few little scraggly braids, and it's not like the most caring, affectionate horse ever, but also not like super chaotic and untamable. But every once in a while, Scrambled Egg will get into a mood and do something like bite his hair and pull on the back of it or something. And then this is him, I don't even know, this is not a specific character, it's just some random person from the world. And he's talking to them, laughing and being polite, and then you can see that internally he feels nothing. Because we always talk about how he's, like, emoting on the surface, trying to seem very sociable, trying to get something out of the interaction, when, like, internally he just doesn't care at all. So, that's Thistle. This version of Thistle. I have a Thistle in, like, every single game. There's some really quick uncolored pencil sketches of Thistle, though, so that you can kind of get his vibe. So, I think last time I brought this guy here, and I didn't actually talk to him, so I'm gonna talk to him this time. Yeah, I don't think I asked these things. I'll check. If I ask them and I'm reading them twice, then I'll cut them out, but I think I kind of quit the episode before I could talk to him. I had 11 hours left. Yeah. If I recall, he had kind of not like a dude bro voice, but kind of like this sort of thing. Hey, Roadster, need anything? I kind of forgot my generic narrator accent, actually. I feel like it changes every time. It's not a very consistent or stable accent, it's just, because again, I'm not trying to sound a particular way, it's just my generic vaguely English narrator accent. I don't even know. Is this an accent that sounds like it's from somewhere? I don't think so. It's like a mishmash, isn't it? Unless I'm somehow doing a hyper-specific accent and I have no idea. And I'm like doing really good at it secretly, but I really don't think so. Maybe for an American it wouldn't be as noticeable, but I feel like any English person could hear the quote-unquote generic accent and be like, yeah, that sounds like shit. Like, I don't know anybody that talks that way. Fudge Stripes. Keebler Fudge Stripes Minis. Original. Made with real Keebler fudge, if you could believe it. Ingredients are enriched flour, wheat flour, nice and reduced iron, vitamin... Don't they say vitamin instead of vitamin? Vitamin B1, thiamine mononitrate, vitamin B2, riboflavin, folic acid, sugar, vegetable oil, soybean, palm kernel, and palm oil, invert sugar, cocoa processed with alkali, whey, and contains 2% or less of leavening, which is made of leavening, which is made of baking soda, sodium acid, pyrophosphate, monocalcium phosphate, salt, soy lecithin, sorbitan tristearate, molasses, natural and artificial flavors, contains wheat, milk, and soy ingredients. I think I've blah blah blah. Yeah, I think I've kind of gotten it back a little bit. Not very well, not very much, but you know. Are you enjoying your stay? Well, I just got here. I can tell you more tomorrow when I spend a few hours on something soft, but damn, that smell around me is quite something, isn't it? I'm gonna go to the well soon. I want to learn more about the peninsula. Could you tell me about your travels? Well, you gotta understand, dude. You're a roadster. People ask you for help, they don't think you'll steal from them when they're in bed. He packs his bag. It's not the same when you're a drifter. They don't ask me to stay, to marry their kids, or to help them with harvest. They just ask if I plan to pay for the room or buy stuff. You talk for quite some time, though it's difficult to uncover the details hidden in his tale. He claims he and his pack-bird came here by boat, about which he refuses to speak. He landed just next to Gale Rocks, a large fishing village near the northern shore. People there were irritable and unwilling to idly chat with him, but opened their mouths after he helped them in the smokehouse. On sunny days, the locals hunt on the shore, and when it gets dark, they hide behind the walls, gutting the fish. And when the weather goes to shit, they boil water for salt and put fish in it. Then hop to the barrels, though I don't know how, they don't have any trees around. Then they sell the meat to the villages and, places, for crops. I let him continue. I was told to stay away from white marshes, though no shell told me why. I joined a group of fish traders who were going to Old Pagos and its monastery, but I hate that place. Ugh, everyone does. He shrugs. I traded there for a bit, but the villagers are cold. They spend days praying and talking on and on about their duty, and are gray like an ashworm. So I left once at dawn, me and my bird, and wasn't that a mistake? He was attacked by a short bear-like creature. He tried to run away, but following his bird was a bad idea. He fell over the thicket, so the monster had time to get him. I hit it with a bolt, but it wasn't enough, so then I kicked it, and it bites my legs, tears my fucking flesh away. I almost dozed off from pain, but can you believe it? That lazy-ass bird came back and charged at it with his beak. His dagger was enough to get through the surprised animal's belly, and it ran away. How did you survive with such deep wounds? The bird was patient and let me lean on it. My ballista scared Griffs away, and we eventually got to Howler's Dell. That's where I found the elders. They agreed to heal me, but only for coin, and told me it's an exception. After a few questions, you're sure that by the elders he means the local druids, held by the villagers in great esteem. They didn't want to talk with me a whole lot, said I'm impudent. His tone is filled with mockery. You hear that? I did spend time with Thace, at least she wasn't so boring. You ask him about her, and he's more than happy to answer. She's the mayor, so to speak. Once you get there, she'll make sure to see you. And you'll know it's her. She's short, her blonde hair is straight and long. She wears dresses and rouges her cheeks like a merchant. He points at the scar on his own face, which doesn't help your imagination. She's not scary. Not scary at all, as long as you don't ask about her wealth. Tell her a joke or two, drink some mead, or play dice. Her laugh is something else. So why did you leave Howler's Dell alone? It wasn't smart to move to the ruins all by yourself. Well, it's my trade. I shouldn't tell, and I won't. You already know all that you need to. Tell me about yourself. I could tell you stories for days, but who cares? That's his chuckle. I'm just doing my thing, moving from wall to wall, sleeping where they let me, buying what I need, selling what I can, saving dragons for later on. I used to be a sailor, People called me Pyros. People called me Pyros because of the, forehead, but I'm not one to push a plow or patch ships all day long. I don't really care if a corpse eats my bones one day, as long as I can stay free for a couple years more. And I'm damn good at staying safe. Or, rather, I was before I landed in this shithole. He touches his scarred face and smirks unpleasantly. I haven't gotten one of these in years, but it's gonna take 2 weeks on the road here, and I almost lost my legs. Spent all my coin in Howler's Dell for elders magic. He brushes some invisible dust off his pants. Not the first time I have an empty pouch, not gonna lie, but there's no coin waiting here. Once I push all the iron to the locals, I'm moving south. Though I won't ride alone, I'm not making that mistake again. Huh. Well, I do want to ask that question because it's curious, but I don't want to insult him if I'm calling out his lying, so I'm gonna save. He's probably lying, but I don't let him know that I've noticed it. Like, this is what I would go with. But I'm also curious to hear what he has to say about ships landing on the coast. And if he gets offended, I'll just pretend I didn't ask. I've heard no ships can land on this coast. He's not angry, and it did update my quest. Well, he tilts his head to the right and gives you a distrustful look. If you're patient and take your time, you can get to Gale Rocks from the sea, in a light boat or a raft or something that can avoid the rocky teeth. I mean, sure, no hope for a ship or any trade, but with some help, you could do it. But don't tell anyone I told you this. His tone gets significantly colder. It's not something people should talk about. I nod. I have some questions. I just took a look around because, I didn't have anything else to ask the guy. Some of the windows are open, revealing the dust dancing in the sunbeams. The innkeeper is standing behind the counter, preparing a set of mugs. The scavenger is nearby, talking quietly with the innkeeper. I go outside. Ah! I spent 30 minutes discoursing with this man. Alright, I guess I should go. Travel. So, I was thinking, I remembered when I looked back over the thing. This way was blocked by a monster, maybe temporarily. So, if I go this way, maybe they won't be there today. And I was thinking, because I am so desperate for money, I really did want to hold out on opening that box that from this place. Because I still feel like it's, like, I don't know, maybe something else could happen with that. Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be like, I've reached this part of the map and gotten so far, and then all of a sudden there's like a character or something that's like, oh yeah, I used to use that dolmen to store stuff. If you still have my package sealed, I'll give you a reward. And I'll be like, kind of wanted to wait until I got to Old Pagos, because I thought that's where the other one was, and talk to the guys who are also supposed to have one, because I also don't know if I complete that quest, is my option to ask about it go away? Like, I'm potentially missing out on it, because the best thing to do would be to actually get both healing potions, and then give one of them to the guy, and keep the other one for yourself. But I was thinking if I really need money, I could open that box and give him supposedly the healing potion that he said was inside of it, and then I think he was gonna pay me for that, some dragon bones. So that could be one way to get a little bit of extra coinage if I really need to. I just don't know if I want to do it just yet. But I'm in the area. I could. I could also put a fish trap back down somewhere. Thing is though, it seems like you can't sell fish, you can just trade them for supplies, which is like fine if I need supplies, but I kind of need coins more. Oh, also here you can work. There was an option that had a coin next to it. I'm gonna go to Howler's Dell. See what I can do from here. Good God, the passage of time! I don't know, could I gain something from the gossip? Could I earn something from the gossip? Could I gain new information that's useful? You approach the opening gate, then swiftly dismount. A guard approaches you, ready to take him out of a stable. Hello, stranger, what news do you bring? I guess we can go for a bit. You mean like 30 minutes or like an hour? Oh, 15 minutes. That's not bad. Even though Howler's Dell is a large village, the life here is slow. The curious locals gather around to take part in your conversation. Recently, the mayor was arguing with the druids, but no soul knows why. That's good to know. That's interesting. See, like, if I do this, will I make money? Usually when an option has a coin next to it like that, it means it costs something. So I was afraid that I was giving them money or something. So they might not need my services. I'm a scholar. I'm gonna try this option just to see what I get. You're wandering through the village. A young man is hanging laundry, humming a melody you've never heard before. He's going, An upset mouflon is bleating time and time again, waiting for someone's attention. They're gonna turn me away. They're gonna be like, you can't fight. Half a day? Farts! For 2 coinos? I'm not doing that shit. I'll do it tomorrow. Like if I run out of money trying to sleep somewhere tonight. I'm just gonna travel for now. Let's see if I can get here today. Is there still a monster blocking the path? The path is cleared and away. The peddler is nowhere in sight, but the road is covered with leaves and broken branches. The only fruit-bearing trees are growing right on the sides of the road, surely planted there by humans. There are many more fruits and leaves the monster may chew on, so it may return any day now. Oh hey, that's a good idea. I hear growling though. Does that indicate... It says the path is clear, but yet I've just heard some very loud growls, so I don't know if I trust the path being clear. Also, is this good to destroy a food source? Like, who planted the trees? Are they gonna get mad and be like, what asshole cut down all these trees along the road that we were using for food? And I'll be like, wow, who could have done that? I don't know, it's not a settlement. It's not like I'm cutting down the trees like right outside of a city garden or something. Maybe the only people really using these fruit trees are implied to be the creatures? I'm gonna save just in case, like always. See, now what's that big growling? That doesn't sound like there's nobody here. If it craves what this place has to offer so much, I should just get rid of its food. It may take me an hour or two, but at least I'll gather some fruits for myself. These birds are loudish. What's the turn the volume down? I'm gonna try it. Yoinks, I'm dirty. You prepare all your tools, especially your thick protective gloves, and tether Scrambled Egg to one of the younger trees. It's not an easy task. You spend more than an hour cutting down twigs, shaking off the fruits of the thinner branches, picking them by hand, or hitting them with a stick. Your rope helps you stay secure, and the first few minutes of climbing is closer to fun than work, but the longer it takes, the more tired you become. You finally break to eat a couple of plums and apples, but the best ones you save for later, covering them with a blanket and putting it on the very top of your bundles. You're standing on a carpet of greens, browns, reds, and purples. You drag some of the thicker branches to the side to make riding forward easier, but the earthworms and boars are going to have a feast. Let's hope the pebbler's picky enough to ignore all the mess on the ground. The corridor of pruned trees leads you to a steep ascent. Behind them grows a peaceful meadow, filled with flowers and crickets and the humming of a waterfall. On the beaten path you spot no footprints or wheel trails, but there's smoke on the horizon. I just mounted it, Scrambled Egg on a rope. Pastures and fields are spread over an unnatural plateau. Humans must have been carving in the hill for generations, covering it with soil brought here in buckets and wagons. Among the weeds and tall grasses you spot rotting tools and a tunic. The pasture is overgrowing, and so do the fields. Some of the oats are ready for harvest. I'm gonna save in case this is a bad idea to be here. Yeah, I mean, just to be safe, I'll prepare I'm not gonna run in swinging going, hey bitches, but I'll just keep it out. Something is wrong. I prepare my axe. The locked gate is taller than a troll, and you can't imagine climbing up the massive wall. For a moment, you follow the path to the edge of the cliff. The roaring ocean is more than 100 feet below you. You spot no one looking at you from the watchtower, no patrols of archers. The wall is occupied by black and blue birds of various types. You return to the gate and focus on the sounds. There are a few screaming ibexes. A young boy is crying. I knock on the gate with the handle of my weapon. The thudding scares away the birds. They caw loudly, starting the cacophony of throats and flapping wings. After a minute, you hear a bronze plate scratching against the wood as someone reveals the peephole. The strict female voice stops you from moving closer. Traveller, old Pagos is secluding, for it has been smitten by a deadly plague. Be gone before ye get sick. What is the playful comment here? I'm already sick, baby. Let your Roadwarden in, I can handle a sore throat. No. Need any help? I introduce myself. Then keep your distance. This may actually be a good idea. For the first time, I might use a vulnerable option. I don't think I'm ever going to use an intimidating option, ever. Unless a character specifically says, oh yeah, you're about to go talk to Darlene. She loves to be intimidated or something. Unless I'm told that it would be a profitable outcome, I will never do it, because I don't see the point. I don't see the point in escalating. You should start chill at the lowest level of interaction possible and only escalate if the other person escalates first. I do this. Do you need any help? But they'd probably be like, what the fuck can you do? You're not a doctor. You know what I mean? I think this actually might be good, but based on what she said and her whole thing, I nod toward the peephole and step back. From a distance, I introduce myself. You look into the young brown eyes that match the skin of the black-haired owner. While the woman looks like a southerner, she has a strong local accent. She follows you cautiously, without blinking, like a fighter awaiting a strike. Salutations, Warden, and you're right to be afraid. We parted with 12 souls already. Others are spending their days sleeping, screaming from nightmares. You hear more footsteps gathering near the entrance. The monks in the north are masters of spells and potions, guided by the right themselves, yet even they can't help us. May them be blessed, for they look after our ill, a weak voice of an elder chips in. The woman continues. You won't find shelter here. We ought not drown the other tribes with us. Such is our duty. A pause. Even if they would not show us such kindness. Before I go, would you answer a few questions? Ask, but there's not much we can do for you. We see no one. We travel nowhere. We were born on this hill and will die here. After a few breaths, her eyes get kinda. I'm Tertia? I wanted to say Terita. I'm Tertia. If you bring any news, take them to our council. Tell me more about this illness. What does it do? She glances at someone or something that stands to her right. It lasts a long time. Even those who seem to avoid death remain weak for days. There are fevers, headaches, red faces, red eyes, and rash. Those whom we had to burn were sleeping and raving, unable to understand us, and got too weak to move or even drink. She looks down. Children and elderly suffer the most. Why don't you harvest your crops? Probably because of everybody being sick. Even though her cold gaze doesn't break, her voice betrays her pain. Some of our youth refuse to stay behind the walls. They say they need to leave before they fall sick. If we were to let them outside, one of them could refuse to come back. You frown. No, it wasn't pain, what you've heard. It's shame. Were you bothered by any bandits in recent seasons? Not in years, Warden. They did attack us on the road once before, but their little pack won't come here. At first her tone is gentle, but after she blinks twice it turns solemn. Or they would face our anger. Our walls fear only dragons, and our blades are made of steel. I'm looking for Asterion, the previous Roadwarden. You can't tell anything from her eyes. Isn't he dead? What makes you think that? What makes you think that? I'd say that about any traveler who disappeared in the wilds. Wardens may know their roads, but they're not above humans. Don't you know the saying? Wait 2 days for the lost, 10 for the wounded, 20 for the ill and mad. You don't wait for more. So you were waiting for him? That's not much of a secret. She looks to her right, then at you again. Head far east to the crossroads. You'll find a watchtower, an old building made of our stone. You notice the pride in her voice, but hardly used since the war. Your friend wanted to turn it into a shelter. Hire guards, patrol the roads. He took our key and rode away. He was meant to meet with us again, trade for materials and tools. Never happened. Ooh, can I ask both of these? Because I want to know both. He's not my friend. She takes a step back. So why would you look for him? What would he say, though? This is the truth, as we all know. Like I think I discussed a while ago, that he doesn't actually care. He doesn't care about this, really. Being the arbiter of justice in the land. I feel like if he says this, she's just gonna be like, well, that's the land, but get used to it. People disappear here all the time. They're just, like, full of monsters. So maybe this sounds kind of, you know, like a neutral answer that most people could find respectable, blah blah blah, yada yada. It's my duty as a Roadwarden. He may be in need, and if so, I should help him. Her eyes and voice smile at you. Yeah, okay, good. He's assured that he made the right lie answer. She bought the lie. It was good for her. Her eyes and voice smile at you. An honorable cause. Who knows? Maybe in a different world our paths would not just cross, but aim in the same direction. Any idea who else could have a key to that watchtower? Well, before it was completed, the builders were spending the rainy days in the coastal village in the far north. Gale Rocks, it's called. Ask there, I guess. Which way would you take if you were to travel to the watchtower? The northern route, most likely. There's more tribes there, but the eastern road is dangerous, no matter from which way you're going. But, if you care about time, she hesitates. You could check on the gate, though opening it on your own might not be easy. It used to be that our guards were keeping it open for the travelers. The last one we sent away, Quintus, is either dead or seeking refuge in another village. Still, behind the gate you'll find the shortcut. It's a dangerous path, but your palfrey may be just fast enough to get you to the other end. I've already been to the other end. I think they're talking about that path with the guy at the gate, you know, unless there's two, the one that I was at. You ask her what she can tell you about this gatekeeper, and she gives you a warm look. He may be not of the sharpest wits, but he's loyal to his duty and returns kindness with kindness, like we all should. Oh yeah, maybe I should mention that I've actually been there. I met Quintus, actually. He's doing fine. So he's still with us? Her voice rings with enthusiasm. She asks about his well-being, reacting to your story with a mixture of worry and joy. I'm sorry to hear about his nose. I hope he knows what he's doing. In his position, I would just look for work in Howler's Dell or ask for help his friends at Pelt. In his position, I would just look for work in Howler's Dell or ask to help his friends at Pelt. Don't you want me to ask the other villagers for help? What is this? What is this? People from the other tribes are looking for... Hey, do you guys want to, ship off some of your sickly, dying folks to be spouses of this other place? They're gonna be like, no, there's a plague on, dude. Don't you want me to ask the other villages for help? There's no love between us and them. We don't share drinks, stories, or dances. If it weren't for marriages, our children would never see each other, and if it wasn't for trade, we could just as well live on a mountain peak. They need our stone, we need fishes and salt from Gale Rocks, game meat from creeks, and grain from Howler's Dell. But all of them are harpies, led by greed and lust, the same ills that wounded our grandparents. She hesitates and looks to her left. Still, the wicked souls of white marshes are even more burrowed in shadows. Sounds like you hold a grudge against them. She takes a deep breath. Yet I won't spread any rumors. As much as it saddens me, they need us to survive, and we need them. And you're even stranger to us than they are. She doesn't trust me enough. Do you have anything for sale? Maybe some food rations? Yeah, I doubt it. They're in a plague. Is this weird to ask? We hardly have enough for ourselves. We used to get supplies for rocks and sculptures, but the monks advised us against it. Our wares may carry the illness. People from the other tribes are looking for spouses. She blinks, as if the question reached her from another realm. We can't be sure of the next spring, even less so that our gates will ever open. I can't offer you any promises for the tribes. Well, there's nothing else I can think of to say. Can I travel up? Oh, I can travel up. Oh, shit. I gotta watch the time. It doesn't tell me the hours. Takes me probably, I'm gonna give myself 3 hours to get back here, so. I would love to get back here and pay even less, but I don't know if that's gonna work out. I hear beasts again. You ascend a gentle hill with green thickets coating the valleys. The path is like an endless bridge built by the ancient three-legged giants, or maybe by the pagan spellcasters. The higher you get, the fewer plants you see. Hit by cold wind, you adjust your cloak. I knew he wore a cloak. I rode slowly, sitting in the center of the saddle. Mountains are harsh for her. Yeah, I don't want to hurt Skimbled Egg. Where is this? The time. You approach the raised drawbridge and observe the face of the mountain. The hooks holding the hourglass are as large as a person, displaying their devotion to the right proudly. Oh yeah, how do I feel about this? This is extremely neutral. It's just like, hey, that must have taken money and time. Like, zero opinion in the take. He would think these two things. He wouldn't think, the tip of the I'm from a place where things are cooler and better. Ma! He wouldn't think that. He would think a combination of, I think his first reaction would be, wow, what a waste of steel. And then his second reaction would be, I wonder who's responsible for polishing it. That's probably crazy. They have to, like, climb up on a ladder or something, or huh? But I don't know. I think he'd probably he'd be like 40% this, 60% this. So because he's a scholar, of course, he would be slightly more interested in wondering about like the actual logistics of like how stuff like that works and like the details and stuff behind it than just being like, what a waste of steel. Like the first second upon seeing it, he'd be like, oh man, that's silly. And then immediately his brain would go into thinking about like, I wonder how they maintain it. I wonder how blah blah blah. How does the mountain work? Diddly-diddly-do. Could I read a book about it? I wonder who's responsible for polishing it. The rustling of leaves carries no song of birds. It's 5 hours and 15 minutes before dusk. The rustling of leaves carries no songs of birds, shouts of apes, or whines of hunted critters. The river attacks its banks with a fierce roar. You get off your palfrey. The cave mouths are connected by paths, stairs, and bridges. You don't see any people, but there's smoke coming from one of the entrances, and you hear muffled thuds of a hammer. The gardens are weeded, the buildings firm. The green trees on the top of the mountain bear red and brown fruits. 2 rounded sticks are tied with a rope to a nearby rock. You grab them and take a closer look. They're claves. Make a few firm hits and shout a greeting. I play a tune from a silly yeah. Wait patiently. Keep hitting them until just bang on them. What if there is nobody there? He's just sitting there like, hey! Am I powerful yet? Have I proved my ego? Do you see how strong I am? Ah! I hit them just 3 times, not too loud. He's just like, hello? Maybe this, you kind of want to let people know that you come in peace, you know? I make a few firm hits and shout a greeting at anyone who shows up near the building. The echo of your hits cuts through the swashing stream. After a few minutes, 2 hooded figures leave a cave mouth at the top of the mountain and give you a long look from the edge of the cliff, then walk down the path with caution. You smile and wave to them before they disappear behind the buildings, which are made of bricks, not logs, and are covered with tiles instead of thatch. Little by little, the bridge gets looser, then it hits the grass gently. The taller figure, now covered with shadows, invites you with a gesture. I lead Scrambled Egg inside. Greetings! His fake happiness. His voice is hoarse but sonorous. And greetings to ye. He hesitates. His voice is hoarse but sonorous. Salutations to thou, traveller. He puts his bandaged hand on his waist. You're at Wright's Haven. The greeters take off their hoods. They wear brown, dark, simple worn robes and ropes instead of belts. They've no jewelry or ornaments, just small bags made of fabric on their shoulders. The larger shell belongs to a strong, barefoot man in his 50s. Despite having no weapon, his eyes are audacious and could belong to a muscle standing in the door of a harbour tavern. His wrinkles are subtle, but there are only a few tufts of grey hair left on his greasy head. His skin is pale, covered with livered spots, though at a closer look you realize a few of them are just stains left by ink. I look at the second monk. The girl is about 14, with unsightly acne on her forehead and a robe that brushes the ground whenever she takes a step. Her black hair is tied into a humble ponytail. She observes your horse curiously, cocking her head to a side. But once she catches your look, she meets your eyes boldly, raising her chin as if to challenge you.
Thy mount is free to help itself with hay and water. We'll wait outside. Thou canst stay here for now, but leave before the night.
Oh wait, is this the girl talking or the old guy? I think probably the old guy. It doesn't say the girl says anything. Thy mount is free to help itself with hay and water. We'll wait outside. Thou canst stay here for now, but leave before the night. The plague is nearby, the struggle ahead. While they indeed leave the room, their trust only goes so far. They observe you through the open door. The building is a single storeroom filled with crates and barrels, a sack of firewood and another one of bricks, a pile of straw, a chest, 2 wheelbarrows, and finally the racks, shelves, tools, clothing, and utensils. The light comes from the open gates, accompanied by the sharp draught. I tether Scrambled Egg near the water trough and join the monks. The lack of walls makes you feel exposed. A few pairs of eyes observe you from the paths above you, while the others either climb to the very top or approach the unremarkable vegetable beds. Most of the dwellers wear hoods, and all of them wear similar worn robes. A chilling wind touches your neck. Now, here's the thing. Thistle loves some wind. Just like me, I really love to be cold. I love to be freezing. I am probably going to have frostbite issues one day because I don't know how to go inside at the right time because I just love to be cold. I don't know if it's like a sensory thing or something. I just love to be cold. I love when I can't feel my fingers. I push it every single year. Every time that it's winter, I will go outside without gloves on and then regret it. And my slightly modified version of myself, self-insert traveler dude, probably also likes to be cold and he wouldn't mind, but this is a social situation. Should he put on his hood to look more like them? The thing is about the culture, would they respect him for not putting on the hood, or would they think it's stupid? He would be thinking about how others are perceiving him, because people are watching him right now. So he would be thinking, what gets me the most social benefit in this situation? Because he's overthinking, do I wear a hood or not? It's not just about being cold, it's alright, well, but also these people are watching me, so how would they feel? Would they see me not putting on a hood as being rude because everybody else is wearing a hood and I should probably wear one? Or would they see it as cool, oh, he can withstand the temperatures without a hood on? I feel probably do the hood. Just because, while they might, maybe it could be a gaining respect from the situation, but I feel more often than not, usually people like assimilation. I put on my hood, begrudgingly, even though I wish I could keep it off. I do it just to look like other people, because I think it will get me social benefit. They keep their distance. The man greets you by raising his open palm, wrapped with bandages that disappear underneath his sleeve. His lips form something between a sneer and a smile. What brings thee here? Art thou a go-between? The girl keeps an eye on your axe, and occasionally glances at your boot, the one that hides a knife. Oh, he's got a knife in his boot! Of course he does. I'm Thistle, the new Roadwarden. Good. Well, the roads need their wardens, the folks need their roads. But there are none behind this mountain, and we take care of the one that you've just crossed. Thou dost not need to bother. Thy services are not required. He gestures for you to wait. But where's the man with the red beard? There isn't enough work here for the two of you. I'm not going to say this because they maintain the road, so that might be kind of rude, and they don't trust me at all. Astarion, I was hoping to find him here. I'm sorry to disappoint thee. He rubs a liver spot on his hand. But he hasn't been here in months. We rarely have visitors different than our friends from old Pagos. We don't invite the outside world, and we don't care much for it. Hast thou checked in Pelt of the North on the southern road? If he's wounded, it's a safe shelter, I've heard. The girl scratches the ground with her boot, though it remains hidden underneath her robe. The man looks at her. What was that? The man looks at her. The man looks at her with amusement. The man looks at her with amusement. Looks like Decima here is eager to return to her duties. I'm Ailey, but I'll not shake thy hand. One of us could carry the plague in our flesh. Who can know? Who can tell? What brings thee to our monastery? Wait, I want to travel just to see. Okay, so it takes... Yoinks! I might have time to get back, actually. Like, if it doesn't take me a long time to talk to this dude, I could maybe get back here. I know it's such a waste of time to go back here every day, but, like, I don't have money! Once I get my coins sorted out, maybe... But I gotta sleep in the cheapest place possible. Is there nothing you can do about the plague that's beset old Pagos? Well, his cough doesn't help his hoarse throat. We don't understand what makes it grow. We put to use all the ingredients we found, brewed as many potions and bombs as we could, and they worked for one afternoon. Then people once again fell ill. Who can tell where the sickness dwells? A powerful healer could get rid of it once and for all with a single spell, but no follower of the right in the north carries such talents. I'm not gonna say... I mean, he would think that's funny, but I'm not. If he had, like, a companion Roadwarden that was an asshole and his companion said that, he might giggle at it. But, I mean, I would suggest this, but I'm afraid he would shoot the idea down. This is kind of a good neutral thing to say. Let me know if there's anything I can do. He nods. I'll pass thy offer to the prelate. Thank thee. What can you tell me about Astarion? Oh, let me think. He looks at the sky and clenches his fist around the strap of his bag. The first time he was here, we asked him to find some iron and gale rocks. The second time, he did bring us a few scraps, but was wounded. A piece of flesh bitten away from his thigh. Said that 100-legged worm had caught him off guard in a meadow. Instead of his pay, we offered him a potion. Now, here's a theory. Could the scavenger and the old Roadwarden be the same guy? Probably not, right? But they're both, they both ride a bird. They're both associated with iron. They both have had leg injuries. But I don't remember if the scavenger has a red beard. Does he have a red beard? But I feel like if that was the case, like, the people at Ding Dong Factory, the people at the Ding Dong Factory, what is that place called? The place where I brought the guy in, or whatever, I thought, they had met him before. So if I brought him there, they would be like, oh, hey, there's Astarion, or whatever. Like, people had seen him before, so I feel like somebody would have recognized him. But maybe, I don't know. It seems like there's some relation somehow. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just, I don't know. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? There's, like, similarities. Maybe... Doesn't the guy have scars on his face? Maybe he is the old Roadwarden, but he's just not recognizable because he got, like, scars or something. Like, he got too bitten up or something, but I forget. I forget what he looks like. I'm playing this weeks apart. Anyway, anything noteworthy about the iron he delivered? Scavenged from furniture, I think. A few of them were rusty. Who knows where he bought them. We melted them for nails. Tell me about gale rocks. He hesitates, but finally nods. Oh, just some seaweed eaters. Their soil is barren, but the strongest of them spend their days on the boats among the sharp rocks. Those who can't hunt for fish boil water to make salt. They trade with the other villages, more than anyone in the peninsula, for crops, wood, and meat. He snorts. How do you snort? Snark. But they're weak folk, weak and angry, like a wolf beaten and kicked from a pup. Loud and ready to bite, but all it takes is for someone to raise their hand, and it jumps away and whimpers. He lets go of his bag. At least they follow Wright's teachings. Do you know anything interesting about the path leading through the heart of the woods? I used to, but like all places that belong to beasts, it shifts every year. The only reason why it still has trails at all is that creatures use our roads as their game trails. Only a dimwit would try to cross it now. After you ask him if he knows any such person, he takes a deep breath. Well, last I've heard... I can't do this voice, it's like... It's not straining on my voice, but it's like it really makes my nostrils work weird. Well, last I've heard, Quintus, the gatekeeper from old Pagos, is missing, or dead. He's a brute and an idiot. Can't understand jokes. Can't stand weaklings. If thou ever meet him, just smile, let him speak as much as he needs to shut up. I tried to learn more about the local bandits. Been asking the villagers. He looks at the wooden entrance hole behind you. No group is going to bother us, for they've got no understanding of pneuma and potions. I wonder if there's an alchemy table here, which is what I need, because I need to be able to make a potion thing so I can cross that place with the fucking flies and mosquitoes. Bet he doesn't care. He's not going to answer questions about the monastery. They don't trust me. What do you know about the necromancers in the north? He rubs liver spots on his forehead with his bandaged hand, looking with one eye at his short companion. This and that. What's your stance on necromancy, in general? He pulls his fingers, gathering his thoughts. My stance? I don't need one. I trust the right. The dead makers must be weeded out. The power brings only fogs. One may think the spellcaster is in control of the shells, but once they lose their breath, the dead are freed, searching for blood. Humans will never control the dead. How does one deal with the undead, or necromancers? Well, well. Is it a single corpse, a squad, or an army? Thou needest to learn how shrewd the enemy is. Can it sense thy presence? Can it use a bow or spells? As long as thou art alone, it's always better to run. The older, empty ones, even more so those that weren't awoken by the fogs, get cunning, human-like, but with cruelty thou hast never seen. I heard I can find them in the northwest. He nods. Head back to the crossroads, then north, then right, into the bogs. There you'll find white marshes. The tribe used to forage and gather peat, but now it follows Orentius, their priest. Who knows? Maybe he's the reason why so many travellers have disappeared on the roads. Decima scratches the ground with her boot, humming a tune, but Ailey tells her to shut up. He carries on with sudden anger. The story is as old as Wright's tablets. Tribes look at monsters and ask themselves, how can we use them? Their pride pushes into their own fall. They hurt the innocent, then vanish in flames, or awake as empty ones. Any thoughts on Orientus? He's never been here. He's locked in that hut, a prisoner of his own conscience, speaking to his tribe as to children. Could there be a darker joke? A necromancer who calls himself a prophet? As he snorts, Decima puts on a wide grin. What next? An emperor bathing in blood? No follower of the right could survive such a fall. What was White Marshes like before the priest's arrival? Far from lovely. His smirk softens as his eyes grow worried. It's been struggling for years, with food, children, the beasts of the bogs, the traders. They were strangers to us, even in the old days when they used to join old Pagos in their pagan feasts. He looks at Decima, who listens to his tale curiously. But then the monks arrived, and that bridge went down with flames. When the missionaries reached the bogs during the years of war, there were already some wounds that could never be sealed, not even by a shared prayer. Let's return to my other questions. I have some questions about the monastery.
And what could those be?
Does this place have a name, or is it just the monastery?
It depends on who thou askest. It's the largest temple on this side of Hag Hills, and the only one besides the sacred cave in Gale Rocks.
He points at the huge hourglass.
Is it Right Summit, or the Temple of Old Pagos, or High Caves, like they used to be for my nana?
He rests his thumbs behind the rope on his waist.
The tribes come and go, the names shift. For now, we all know what we mean by the monastery.
What can you tell me about your order?
How does one describe the air they swallow, the water they draw each day?
His contemptuous yet playful smile makes it clear that he doesn't seek your answer.
I can tell thee it's not old, but older than thou, and that his monks work and pray. But is not a place nor a congregation. Words don't reflect our purpose, for human tongue is meagre and stupid, and so are our ears.
He straightens up and puts on a more serious tone.
We look for knowledge, knowing will not uncover the truth. We study herbs, mushrooms, rocks, and winds. Old Pagos feeds us, and we take care of its orphans.
He glances at Decima.
Heal its sick, write down its stories. We silence our thoughts, fix our past wrongdoings, seek peace and understanding. I've seen and touched stuff I can't even name, and they were delightful. I now find no difference between what I do to keep my shell alive and what to fulfill the right's will.
An old woman without her hood who leans forward while walking exits one of the caves and walks along the rock face, from time to time stopping in place to watch the garden. The scars on her face can't distort her kind smile. Does this place have a leader of sorts? He crosses his arms and takes a look at the cave mouth behind him, then gives you a harsh look.
If our prelate was willing to see thee, they'd let thee know.
I'm willing to prove that I'm trustworthy.
We'll see. Maybe.
Tell me about your faith. He takes a deep breath, puts on the hood, and closes his eyes. His voice, while still hoarse, becomes monotone, like a scribe reading a list of the dead.
The right is the greatest of souls, the wall of light that protects humankind, the life after death. Those who follow their teachings will abandon their shells. To follow means to guard Right's tribe and help it grow in strength and peace. To achieve this goal, one needs to learn to accept the creation and its nature. This allows us to shape matter, souls, and pneuma without turning them against us. To be a monk means to find freedom in Right's tablets, to abandon one's ambitions. I serve Right's will, I let it build my salvation. I prepared the tribes for their end. He takes off the hood again. For the first time, you see true gentleness in his eyes. May these words be carried with my blood, so be it.
Was that monotone, or was that just really fast? Will he know that I lie? I don't want to be called out for lying, but also I don't want to be like, fuck you guys. So be it. He smiles and adjusts his robe.
Yes, may they be written on my soul.
You catch a glimpse of resentment on Decima's face, but she turns away from your gaze, shaking her black ponytail.
Does she know I'm lying?
How does one become a monk? He lets out an amused grunt and clasps his hands together.
When one needs to join an order, they find a way. It's not aught thou wantest, but stuff that happens to thee.
Give me an example.
Oh, I don't know. Abandonest thy past? Throw thy pet down the cliff and pray.
You don't even find a hint of playfulness in his voice. After a longer pause, he carries on. I'd like to learn some of your knowledge about the peninsula.
No, he sighs. The order protects what it knows, and we seek no wealth.
You remind him of your trade, and he responds with annoyance.
Knowledge builds and destroys the cities.
He points at two monks who are seeking snails among the garden patches,
are responsible for what we bring from our journey. A blacksmith isn't judged by the deaths of their swords, but they often sell them to scoundrels.
I do kind of want to say this, but, I don't want to... I'm trying to actively gain their trust at the moment, so I don't want to challenge them too much. Will this seem noble to them? I use what I learned to protect other people.
And thou thinkest our books and studies are going to help thee? Just keep thy shell healthy, take care of thy pet, and listen to your elders.
Let's return to my other questions. Why can't I spend the night here?
Want us to give thee a chest and a weapon rack too? Or maybe feed thy mouflons in our gardens, or ask us to bed with thou? It's not an inn. We respect the hardships of one's journeys, so we don't scare off the strangers who cross the mountains, but we don't let them wander about and take our time for granted.
He looks at his bandaged hand, makes a fist, then opens it and stretches out his fingers.
Maybe with old Pagos locked, our old rules too shall change.
Do you need any help? I'm looking for a job. He puts his hands together and repeatedly taps his fingers. After a few breaths, he straightens up.
No.
He doesn't trust me enough to give me a job. Would you like to barter?
Not today, not before the spring. Our order uses every bottle we make to help the sick from old Pagos, as well as to protect ourselves.
Well, I don't think they care about dragon bones. I could bring you dragon bones, or something that doesn't grow in the mountains. He looks at the steel hourglass hanging from the wall.
Taste, softness, tools of murder. We shall crave not. One thing we lack are delicacies we could offer to the sick and weak, but thou wilt not find such a thing in this sad land.
I also dabble in alchemy a bit. Could I use your tools to brew? They're probably going to say no.
Curious.
He puts a bandaged finger on his chin.
Back in the day, the Order would lend thee its workshop in exchange for thy recipes. But now...
He rubs his skin, observing Decima. She shakes her head gently.
That was before the war. If aught breaks under thy touch, we would struggle to replace it. No amount of coins may buy us a trader with glass files or bronze and golden tools. Rather, thou must follow the road north around the lake until you reach Foggy Lake, a tavern. Foggy makes hard drinks and ciders, and shall have the simpler tools. There was also that one old druidess on Howlers, but she's likely already dead.
Still, I know a recipe for the blinding powder that requires a basalt rock crushed on top of a mountain. Could I get to those trees high up, just for a few minutes? There's a new gleam in his eye.
I'd adore learning this recipe, for we use basalt knives often, but our prelate won't agree for thy stroll.
He looks toward the tiny orchard. The pride makes his voice stronger.
We need to be sure thou art a friend of the Order, not a threat.
A gentle cough.
We can't let you run into the caves, thou seest.
Alright, well, can't go this way, because I need an alchemy table to be able to make the thing. I've got 5 hours, so I wonder if I could go here and try and talk to the guy. Is the trader open? Can I open this? I think I'm gonna do it. I need the coins. I need the coinas. Light wooden box. You shake it for a bit, try and guess what's inside, but you need a little leather. The box turns out to be filled with rags, covering a fragile earthen bottle. It's small and sealed with a tall wax seal, inside of which you see a thin stick. It should be easy to instantly open it. Take a look at the bottle. You can't look inside, and if you open it, you may not be able to seal it again. Nevertheless, you recognize a magical potion when you see one. It has a tall wax seal inside, of which there's a thin stick, enabling swift opening. It could be anything. Oh, unknown contents. Maybe I shouldn't give it away then. What if it's something bad? The monks are not going to sell new potions anytime soon. They're struggling with the plague. Is this the guy that sounds like this?
Plague?
He rolled his eyes.
Do the spirits have nothing better to do than throw logs under my feet? And what about the dolmen? Have you been there?
I don't know. Are you sure it's a healing potion? Damns and curses. I don't know. I need to make money. I don't want to give him that thing if I don't even know what the hell it is. And I shouldn't open it, right? Because if I open it, I could give him my healing potion, but am I gonna need it? You know what I mean? It's like, why do I need it? I apparently have good vitality at the moment, but that doesn't mean that will not change in the future. Oh no, I haven't spared animals? When have I fought animals? I mean, barely. It's just because it says it's a mysterious potion. I can't identify, like, you know, like, is that trustworthy? I mean, he is the one that said that's what it is. So if the potion is actually, like, potion of explode into 1,000,000 pieces and his daughter uses it and explodes into 1,000,000 pieces, he can't come to me and be like, hey! You gave me that potion and it actually exploded my daughter and you said it was a healing potion. I'll be like, you said it was a healing potion, dude. You told me to go get it. I got it for you. Not my fault. Sorry about your exploded daughter, but like, you know, I didn't do it on purpose. I just feel like, and like, what if it's something cool? What if it's actually like super omega god power potion? I don't know. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna give it to him. With a grin, he picks up the bottle gently, jiggles it, and weighs it in his hand, then puts it on the counter.
Great. Now let's hope my little girl will not get herself swallowed by a dragon. So, we said 5 rings. It's yours. He smiles and looks for the coins in a large pouch. Thank you, O bringer of good news. I take my reward. Are we done here? Nothing for now. I'll walk away. Now I do have more coins, but I also lost my mysterious potion. That could not be identified. I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm gonna talk to him again and he'll be like, my daughter turned into a freaking frog. Okay, let me just like review this stuff. So I need to explore the peninsula. I can secure the roads, getting rid of any major threats. Soldiers told me about a village that uses necromancy. Some of the locals can move safely through the rocky coasts. Many creatures have recently left the northern forests. Uh-oh. The abandoned village in the south may be a useful spot. Well, why can't I thought I've done everything there. I've explored the whole place. How do I figure that out, you know? The villagers are willing to sell linen and sturdy clothing in exchange for soldiers. Stoneworkers who live in old pagos have a plague. Retire early and live in prosperity. 100 coins. Oh my god. 100 coins. I could also look for an expensive treasure. Dams, I wonder if I could have sold that potion. What if it's like, if I had taken it to a trader, some other trader, they would have been like, wow, that's mega potion. Find the Roadwarden. Hallersdale banished him. Also thinks he's in the north. According to Akakios, Asterion bought a sickle sword to cut through thickets. Said there's issues maintaining their roads. Gotta get that fish from that guy. This is probably not true. Glossia's banned. Dice won't answer my questions. While the village used to be small, it was also unusually wealthy. Some humans chopped through the fence that surrounds the pasture. How do I find out more about what happened to it, though? Because, like, I thought I explored everything there. I've gotten all the clues. I've gotten all the clues I can get myself. I feel like I just have to talk to people about it. I can't go up any further. I can't go anywhere past here. I can only go here if I get something that that will keep fucking bees off of me. And I can't go here because it's blocked by an earthquake, right? And, like, it's impassable, I thought. Or they said something like it would take... I would have to get, like, a whole crew of people to help me or something like that. So that I can't do. Go back through here and get to this place and try and go to the coast or something. Then about the timing. So I have 3 hours left in the day. Could I make it back to the place I always want to sleep? If I slept there, then what would I do next? I would wake up. I can't go here because there's nothing, like, I don't know how you're supposed to get past that. Or maybe I can. I mean, the arrow was there. Does it mean that I can? Maybe the next thing that I do is, like, go here, sleep for cheap, restore some of my, my dirtiness and everything. I'm gonna try that. That's my strategy right now. I'm gonna go back on that other path. The god ignores your arrival! Did Quintus tell me anything about not telling people about his presence, or what? I think this is fine. I met Quintus, the one who trained with your team. He may need your help. They're gonna go, aren't they kind of doing their own thing, though? Like, are they gonna help anybody? I don't think they really care about going and helping people, do they? To explain the difficult situation he finds himself in, putting emphasis on his wounds and food issues. Listening to your conversation, the nearby guards surround you, forming a circle together with the boar, and ask you if Quintus is in one piece. Your tale causes the tension to give way to jokes. He's so scared of the wrath of the Earths he'll soon eat his bloody crossbow and learn how to use it, says one of the older women. Let's give the poor guy a break.
The guard in yellow armor interrupts, which is not welcomed by a one-eyed man who comments that he's not even here. After another minute, she grins at you. Thanks for telling us. We'll change some plans and get in touch with him during our next trip. Come on, not that! The same man chips in, but quiets down under the redhead's stare. Under the redhead's stare. What nearby ruins? I don't even remember finding goblins anywhere. Does Pyrrhus have anything more to say? No. I sleep. The only reason that I'm sleeping at inns, really, is to get baths. Because when I try and go, like... when I do this, I can't. Oh, wait! I can? Oh, I don't have 2 hours. I thought I couldn't. The oak ash soap you own. What? Because I've been to wells and rivers and stuff multiple times, and they say there's nothing I can do here. Huh. But now I can do something. Well, I'm just gonna sleep for the night, because I need, I can't lose 2 foods. Or maybe I can. Could I lose... what do I have in my inventory? I have 6 food rations. So maybe I could get a little clean. Soaking, pounding, and rubbing the fabric while you hold it above the dusty ground takes a lot of effort, especially without flowing water. And then I'm going to... oh, then I'll just lose it again! I don't know, I'm gonna do it. Whatever. As you prepare your belongings, you realize that the days are getting noticeably shorter. The closer you get to autumn, the less time you'll have before the beasts of the night leave their lairs. For now it won't be that bad, but I better make sure not to waste too many hours. I do love to waste hours. Because I don't have money, I gotta return back to the cheapest place to sleep, man. The small room is quiet and far away from unwanted eyes, blah blah blah, what is it? Baked artichokes with a weird but tasty roasted lizard. Interesting. Do I have anything you'd like to buy? No, I need it. I bring sad news from old Pagos. The villagers were stricken by a plague. He sighs and puts his muscled arm on his head, then asks you about the state of the village and the symptoms you know of. After a short conversation, he observes the counter. I was planning to get in touch with those stonecutters. Thank you for bringing me the news. Let's hope they can make it until spring. Do you have anything cool? No, you don't. Pyrrhos. Enjoying your stay? Beard. He does have a beard. He has a beard. It's not bad here. Not bad at all. They bought what I could sell, but the hunters want my entire pouch just for getting me south. We've agreed to a lower price, but they won't just drop whatever it is they're doing to escort me. I don't care. I'll wait a couple of days, do some chores for the innkeep, rest from the forest, you know. Once the hunters are done with their plans, then we'll move out. He scratches his cheek and beard and finally sighs. But I do feel like I've eaten a troll shit. When I landed here, I had my pile of bundles and trinkets, and now I'm starting with nothing again. I should have listened to the warnings. This land belongs to no man. So Pyrrhos. And then there was also, what was the guy's name? Okay. Aeli. I don't know if they've even met that man, but I will see. Go to the innkeeper, ask about someone. I don't understand people who choose to be vagabonds, but I do grasp that some can't bear the sight of their home. They just have to leave it. I just think one should do their best creating their own place, or finding people to whom they belong. I don't see a point in wandering like an outlaw. He knows a thing or two, I must admit, though he's slacking off. I only know what I've heard. An important alchemist, but all the monks are the same. They think they're smarter than everyone else. In his youth, he used to be a thief of sorts, or maybe a bandit, but that was before the war. You'll find him in the monastery, or in old Pagos. Hello, guards! Actually, I'm gonna save. Because, honestly, I know I shouldn't do this, but if I lose the dice throw, I'm just going to reload the save and pretend that I didn't do the dice, because I don't have any money! Alright. Yes! Woo! 3 coins! Okay, it's 14 hours, 15 minutes before dusk. And I have enough food. My armor is okay. Can I repair my armor anyhow? The armor is nowhere in sight. Okay, well, so I think I'm gonna travel. Go here. I'm gonna see how long it takes to work for these dudes. We gossip for a bit. The new information that I've gathered is that during the last hunting trip, one of the hunters was badly injured. If spells won't help, she may lose an arm. That stinks. For 1? Hell no, I'm not doing all that for 1 coin. Never mind. At least two coins. At least 2 coins. Didn't you hear I won 3 coins this morning, so I'm rich now? So I can be choosy. I've got 11 dragon bones, so 5 hours and 15 minutes. I do have time, so I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna see what's there. I'm gonna die, probably.
On top of a nearby hill, you spot a four-legged dragon chewing on tree leaves. It completely ignores you, and as you observe its long neck as thick as a trunk, you can't imagine a blade that could wound it. Okay, well, glad it's ignoring me. I'm going to travel this way. As long as you ride uphill, the forest is sparse. Soon after, the tree roots tear the path apart. The road is coated with branches, acorns, leaves, and chestnuts, and some seedlings that have already broken through the pitted surface of the road. If left... What was that noise? If left undisturbed for another year or two, the forest will reclaim this place. Finally, you ride upward again. The plants are getting smaller and the road more rocky. I sigh with relief. What is this? A chimney? Now, where am I in respect to time? It's 6 hours and 15 minutes. I'm like way the fuck over here. It'll take 4 hours to get back to a place where I can sleep. So... Oh, I can cross it? Crossing it slows you down, but I can do it? I thought I just couldn't get past there at all. Well, diddly-doo-dah, I had no idea. Well, the hills are full of life. You don't hear anything coming from the watchtower. Its upper level lacks a wooden platform from which the guards could fire their crossbows or drop stones on the opponents below, so this place was not meant to be used in combat, but rather as a shelter from claws and fangs. Such structures can be found in especially untamed parts of the Dragonwoods, used occasionally by travellers or patrolling squads. Since the end of the war, the cities can't find enough people and dragon bones to keep them in good shape. You see no footsteps, no lights, no fresh trash or a latrine. The birds are cleaning their feathers on top of the tower, while the branches are moved by the fierce cold winds. I look for the tracks I saw near the fallen tree. The tracks led here, through the narrow gate, then west. The hard heels are especially noticeable. Maybe there's something interesting among the spruce trees. It must be a human-made copse? I thought it said corpse for a second. It must be a human-made copse. Only the smallest of the spruces are out of order, born of wild seeds. The largest trees are as tall as the tower itself, which surely doesn't help those who were meant to observe their surroundings. There are also some stumps, most of which used to belong to young saplings. These trees were likely meant to be sold to carpenters and coopers, but they were left alone many years ago. In the copse you find wild fennels and lettuce, thriving in shadows. And there are pears and berries growing among nearby trees and shrubs. Ooh, they'll be ripe at some point. Examine the campfire spot at the fence. You see a shattered bowl, the remains of a meal from many years ago. However, the firewood and the lonely stool are not too old. You don't doubt that the watchtower seems less threatening to the wayfarers than to the wilderness around it, even when it's locked. I may use this campfire spot in the future if I have raw meat with me. I'll take a look at the signpost. The wood and letters are damaged by decades of rains, frosts, borers. I thought that said, boners for a second. I was like, okay. Weird direction for this to go in. Frosts, borers, claws, and mosses. You scratch down some of the moss. The plank on the top points both towards the watchtower, where the letters spell south, and away from it, with the additionally carved north. The one beneath it points east, and this time you see a tidily written word, painted on the wood in blue, enchanting. In Hoflevan, enchanters are artisans specialized in filling ordinary items with magical pneuma, and sure enough, the arrow here looks more like a magic wand. The bottom plank, pointing west, has a picture of a tall tower on it, surrounded by little houses. The carving spells Monastery, but the wood is covered in wet paint, suggesting danger. So dangerous monastery. I walk to the gate. Setting up a firm wall in a place like this is a bit unusual. It goes on for no more than 40 feet until it connects with a natural rock face. Such a structure could be found near the city, allowing it to stop travelers and search for their belongings or request a fee. But in the middle of nowhere? Deers and other animals used to running here with no hindrance must have been more than annoyed. A risky investment. You touch the gate, made of a high-quality wood, previously soaked in oil, now mostly wiped off. It was left open, and you don't see any wooden bar that would be used to lock it. You try to move the cold planks, buried in a dried-out mud, but with no luck. It would require some wearying digging. Take a look at the signpost.
Oh, the same thing. I approach the entrance. Take a look at Scrambled Egg. If necessary, it could bow its head and walk inside. This place should be a decent shelter for both of you. The planks are strong, heavy, well protected from rain and wind, and when you knock, they seem to be thick. While the door shakes at your push, it won't open. Defensive structures usually have a locking bar on the inner side, but you also see a large keyhole. You walk around the tower, making sure there are no open windows or other entrances. It doesn't look like you can get in without destroying the door, and doing so is going to make a potential entryway for the wild creatures. I'm just going to look through the keyhole. I'm not going to bust anything up. You kneel down and take a peek. There's nothing in the hole, but the room is dark, with tiny bits of light passing through the crevices of the windows. You see the shapes of wooden furniture, like tables, casks, and a ladder, but the only movement you notice belongs to the dust dancing in sunbeams. Yeah, I guess I should, just travel. So how much time do I have in a day? How much time do I have in a day? How much time do I have in a day? Maybe I can go... Which way can I go? Can I go this way? The first part of the trail is narrow and overgrown. The steep crag in the south divides the lush forest in half. You barely recognize any shapes in the entanglement of greys, browns, and greens. The northern landscape, while similarly impenetrable, is the exact opposite. The meadow turns into barren hills and mountains, barely covered by grass and bushes. Maybe the riding ibexes of clanspeople from the growing mountains would get through such a barrier. There are no clans here. Oh. Oh, I don't have much time. Hold on, wait, what? Let me look at the map. I think it was, what, like 3 hours or something to get back here, so I do need to have a place to sleep at night. The road leads you downhill to the edge of a lake. The clearing around the dwelling is quiet, with no crickets, flies, or even toads. The grass is not even knee-high. There are no signs of a wharf or boats. The wall isn't coated, and it's already been bitten by winds and rains. Right next to the gate, a gargoyle, or a stone look-alike, kneels on a slab. It's dark purple, almost black, with yellow, pointy teeth. Though its half-open mouth has no tongue, and the creature doesn't move even an inch. The eyes have been replaced by crystals, red like currant juice. This doesn't seem like a good idea. I'm gonna save, just in case I explode or something. Can I just knock on the gate? Finding no knocker, you use your fist. There's no response. Anyone home? Your voice is welcomed by the screeching of dozens of avian throats. They take off from behind the wall, heading toward the lake. After a few breaths, the eyes of the gargoyle grow brighter. What's with all the ape shouts? Are you lost? The words are coming from the monster's mouth, though it remains still. Stand in front of me! I want to see your mug! The drawling voice belongs to a woman, but is lined with unnatural creaking. Step closer. The eyes don't rotate or blink. So, who are you? I hope you're having a great day! What if he does this, actually? What if he's just like... Beth will be like, F off. You don't know what type of day I'm having, it's not your business. But, you know, that's his thing, being fake cordial, because he feels like he needs to, in order to endear himself to strangers so that he can get benefit, so... I'm Thistle, the new Roadwarden. I hope you're having a great day. During the long pause, the glow of the gargoyle's eyes subside. Once they light up again, the voice isn't much softer. Well, good to see a new warden. You came to pick up some stuff? You're way too early. Or, do you even know who I am? I don't, I'm afraid. I'm just getting to know the realm. So, you lost your way, now you're wasting my time. Long pause. I'm Eudocia, the only enchantress you'll find in this land, and you're disturbing my work. I don't see people in the middle of the day. Return in the early morning or a few hours before dusk, if you have to. Best yet, don't fucking bother me at all. The monster's eyes darken again. Your mount is ready to ride away. I don't have any business with her, do I, at the moment? Like, if I don't have anything specific to talk to her about, I feel like I don't really need to push it, you know what I mean? Travel this way, maybe? With no trees or crags blocking the sun, the road is bright and inviting. The simple bridge is centuries old, bidden by time. It makes you think of the dolmen you saw south of here. The torrent here is deep and fast, with plenty of fish. The boat is destroyed upon repair, rotten, falling to pieces, with holes on the floor and on the sides, overgrown with fungi and moss. The thick shrubs are
covered with thorns. Small birds are jumping from one twig to another, pecking at the brown berries. Knowing from the herbaria that the fruits are safe, you eat a few bittersweet ones as well.
I think I've read something about these fish. You see dozens of red and grey shells. As you walk by, they stay close, following your steps. According to the testimonies from a murder trial you've read about, they have long, sharp teeth, eat flesh, and could scrap your skull clean in a minute or so. For an hour. If I look around for an hour, I will have literally just enough time to get back. Actually, I'm gonna save just in case I don't have time to get back. I look around for an hour or so. Maybe I can find something of use. After what feels like an eternity of searching around the boat, the banks, and the shrubs, you sit down on the bridge to take a break, then realize you haven't actually looked beneath it. You kneel on the grass and look into the darkness. Among the cobwebs and bugs, you spot an old piece of fabric pinned under a rock. You pull it out and find a rotting, torn pouch that contains a single dragon bone. You make sure you haven't missed the other ones in the dirt, but if they ever existed, they've rotted down and sunk for good. I throw the pouch away and stand up. No point in staying here, we move forward. I don't think we can move forward. Where can I stay? Like, I'll literally just get back in time. I need I think they said that you could maybe sleep here if I can get a key, like if I can get it open. Maybe I need to work on that, because like everywhere is pretty far away from this path. Like, I can't get back here, I can't get back here. And can you sleep outside? Like, I know it says you're not supposed to, you need a shelter to sleep in. Could I, like, theoretically sleep here or something if I really had to? Because it's technically a shelter. I guess I should figure out what places are actually shelters and what places aren't. The thing is, to figure that out, I would have to take a risk of, like, someplace not actually being a shelter and me thinking that it is. I've been playing the game for like 2.5 hours anyway, I probably should sleep. The lights are a promising refuge. The guards have bows and spears in their hands, and some rush to the gate only to close it again right after you ride inside. "Bored with life, Roadwarden," one of them grumbles. "Haven't you noticed it's almost dark?" I get off my horse and enter in. Have anything interesting to say? Nope. Enter the inn. I'm gonna go to sleep then. I feel like I can do this. I'll only lose 1 and 2 foods, but I mean, I think it'll be okay. I'm gonna sleep on a bench for the first time. The rains once again hit the ground, interrupting your sleep. Another day of muddy roads. I won't have a meal in the morning. Oh, I should ask about Eudocia, actually. Oh, Eudocia is crazy. She lives in a lonely house all by herself, skinny and dirty like a corpse eater, surrounded by golems. Never smiles, never cries, one of those. She never leaves her home, and if you see it from far away, it looks abandoned. A few times a year, people travel to her and trade barrels of food for magical items. Any leftovers? Yay! Yep, you're lucky. I was planning to give it to the boar. He goes to the stove and in a couple of minutes prepares you a meal. Here. You see flatbread with butter and herbal dip sauce. While you're eating, he asks if you need anything else. That's all I need, I go outside. 13 hours and 45 minutes. Oh, the days are getting shorter. And I am still not very good at time management in this game. Day 7. It's been a whole week. I mean, so I haven't gotten a lot done, but like, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of a decent bit. Whoa! This takes so much longer to get here now. The roads are muddy. That sucks. Kind of want to explore up this way, but it takes so long even just to get out there. And then to have to travel all the way back to go to sleep. But I mean, in a whole week, I've gone to a lot of places. So, I seem to be backtracking a lot, and I have definitely wasted a lot of time by trying to be cheap and making sure that I go all the way back here every time I have to sleep instead of just sucking it up and sleeping here. At least I've gotten some I only have 2 options for places I can go. I can go here or I can go here, and I can't go here because I don't have something for the bees because nobody will let me use their alchemy table. So this is really the only way I have to go. I could also bug her and try and force her to let me in, but like, I don't know. I'm not sure how fruitful that will be. She seems like the type of person where, like, if I'm gonna come to her, I need to already have some sort of business with her. I don't know. I might try going back there. I could do this too, but... So anyway, I mean, you know, it's been a week and it's felt like I kind of have wasted the week a little bit, but I kind of haven't. I kind of haven't. I've done okay. I'm saving just because I am going to try and play coins, but if I lose, I'm gonna pretend that I didn't. No, okay, sorry. Sorry, I know. Sorry, I know. You would do it too in my position. So we're just going to pretend I never played that game. Now I wonder if you could, like, I could approach the guards and I could just keep trying to replay until I win, but I don't want to do that. Like, here's the thing. If I try and play and I lose, I will reload so that I didn't lose my 1 coin, but I'm not going to keep reloading over and over again until random chance lets me win, because I wonder if the game tracks that somehow. I mean, I feel like you could have a system that tracks that. I'm not really sure how, but probably. So I wonder if there's like a hidden thing where, like, if they notice that you are saving and reloading trying to game the chance of that, then, like, they'll penalize you somehow. So if I knew there was no penalty for it, I would probably do it, but, you know. But I'm somebody who plays all games with, like, God mode on. Like, I don't really care about... I don't think cheating is bad if it enhances your experience of the game. Like, that's... The point of a game is to enjoy the game. And it's one thing if you're competing. If I was competing against somebody else, or, like, trying to go up for a title to, like, win a prize or something, then yeah, like, cheating when there's stakes is not good. If it's, like... I'm playing this game by myself, for myself, just for fun, for my own enjoyment. I'm not trying to prove anything, I'm not advertising anything, I'm not proving a record, I'm not trying to do good, I'm not going up against anybody competitively. In that case, when it's people's own experience, it's like, who cares, you know? Cater your experience to how you want to... I think I'm spoiled by The Sims, maybe? Because, I mean, growing up, always playing The Sims, like, you can do whatever you want. You can use cheats to put anything in, you can do whatever. If you want extra money, you can add extra money. If you want to do this, like, it's very... I don't know what they call that, like, what, sandboxy or something? Like, where you have control over everything. But then playing other games, it's like, who cares if I give myself... Like, who cares if I play Skyrim with God mode on or something and, like, unlimited money or whatever? Like, it doesn't matter, because I'm just playing by myself. I'm just catering my experience to me, but some people are still like, no, you can't do that. It's like, why? It's just me. I think games are a personal experience and a way to relax, so, like, you know, whatever makes you happy. If I lose a coin and I want to reload so that I never lost my 1 single coin, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Anyway, so I think I'm just gonna stop here probably, because I've been recording for like 2.5 hours, so yeah, I mean, it's been a week and I haven't, there's still a lot of stuff that I haven't done, but I feel like I've done okay. I mean, it's not like I've been in the same little tiny area for a week. I've definitely wasted lots of time, but not terribly. I guess the next place I have to go is here, because, like, I can't get anything out of the monks. I don't know if there's anything to do in the city. I can't get into Old Pagos because they have a plague right now. I can't move this unless I had a big group of people to help move it with me. I can't do this because I can't get to the place, right? I can't do this because I'm supposed to get to a place, and I haven't gotten to that town yet. It's probably up here or something, and I can't get there. And I can't cross here until I have, like, something to repel the insects. It says I can't come back until I get, like, a potion or something to put on myself, which I need an alchemy table to do that. The only place I can go is go this way. Maybe bother Eudocia? But that's it. These are my options. Go up here or bother this woman. So I will see what I'm gonna do when I come back. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.